last round at Baku, it didn't go so good. The front end of the car folded in on itself again. Second time that's happened with the Part Shop Max, and just throwing in the towel with that one because losing a lot of time. Feels like every time I go drive the car, it's like I have to figure out something new with the Part Shop Max, and if I just do this, if I just do that. But yeah, I need to just start driving the car and stop worrying about all that stuff. So I've gone to a different setup that's simpler. I've actually had this already. I drove on it a few years ago. Wasn't a big fan of the feeling of it, but in its defense, it did work. I didn't have any of these issues I'm having. So what we have is a grey Knuckle. It's a little bit different of a design than usual. So just runs the factory lower arm, and this is your regular knuckle pickup point, which they have spaced out over to here. So when you extend the arm after that ball joint, you're introducing a fair bit of scrub radius into the car. That has its pros and cons, but anyway, we have clearance issues. That's what I'm getting at. So you can see we're quite tight everywhere, but this backside isn't too much of a concern because that's pretty soft metal and I can just smash that. This, you can see where I used to run these knuckles, that's where it used to rub. This headlight support bracket area is really tough. If you smack that with a hammer, you're gonna hurt yourself. Ask me how I know. So we're really tight. And the car is obviously in the air, so when I get down to the ground, that's going to be closer. So yeah, that's one thing we have to battle with now, but that comes part with the scrub radius. I do have a 25mm space around here at the moment, so I think I could step this down a little bit, which will obviously help with less scrub again. But yeah, and this is a 225/35/18. So this is a surprisingly small wheel. This is actually smaller than a 235/40/17. So even if you jump down to a 17, that's not going to help me in this instance. But yeah, I actually aligned the car yesterday, but I use the eccentric lockout washers, so I have to unsettle the car to get those washers back on. They replace the eccentric bolt washers, and I'll have a look at them. They're just like a grooved, or I guess a teeth design. So they lock into the collar on the subframe, and then yeah, they can't really go very far. So I've got them on. We'll take the car off the lift, get it back on, just so the suspension can properly settle. Confirm the alignment's good, and then I've got a few little other things I'm going to just quickly address on the car. I'm going to try and patch up some of the fender and everything because of our little on-truck incident from Baku, just to help, because the bumper's really loose at the moment because all the support for it's been broken. And yeah, then tomorrow afternoon we're going to head over to Screamer Circuit for an afternoon session, and yeah, we're going to put myself and these knuckles to the test. Okay, well that was a lot easier than I was expecting. Usually when I put those washers on, it changes the alignment quite a bit, but looks like we're in luck today because we have 5.3 caster, 6.2 camber, and 12mm toe out, so 6mm each side. Now these knuckles have very little Ackerman, so it's pretty normal to run decent toe out. That's actually a relatively small number compared to some guys, but yeah, like, I'm not overly experienced with the big scrub stuff, so but I've noticed they generally run quite a lot of camber and a fair bit of toe out, so we'll start there and see what we think tomorrow. But this might be about to have a look at everything anyway. So stock lower arm, it's a Grace knuckle, it's a Grace upper arm. So pretty simple, really. All your alignments just in there and in there. I've also just remembered that this can now take the factory sway bar again, so I'm gonna go grab that, put that in, and then yeah, probably just glass up the front bar a little bit, and then go get the truck and load it up. Alright, got the sway bar in, and I also added some lock stops because I was pretty worried about that rubbing issue. I had it on the ground and then I had like millimeters to the body, so on the load it's going to be an issue. So this is it's not the most official little lock stop, but it's actually way harder than what it looks like. It's a really hard rubber, and probably being not metal will help absorb some stuff that a metal one probably would send straight through the body. It definitely reduced our lock, but also being rubber, when it is on lock, it will like come around that bit more. So I have a fair bit of room to the body like this. So if it drives great and I want a little bit more, I can trim those down a little more, but I think for now we're going to leave that as it is. I also stepped down from a 25mm spacer to a 15. So we have, doesn't look like much, but we got way more clearance up there because we've got less scrub. And I just tapped around the back of the footwell just to give us a little bit more clearance there anyway. And that's what we've essentially ended up with. So, not the worst, not the best. You can see it's starting to squash. So I tried to get the fiberglass repaired, but I think just because I tried to do it on the car, so I tried to be a bit lazy, and I think just because of the way everything's pulling on everything, it would just kept wanting to pop off. So flagging that for today. I ended up fixing the bonnet, which wasn't latching properly at Baku, so I just took it off. My pins aren't the best, so I want that back on, because even with the pins down, it sort of moves around, and the pins actually, the springs that hold them down actually come up sometimes. So anyway, bonnet's latched again. So yeah, as far as prep goes, we're good to drive tomorrow. Alright, it's a new day. We're at Screamer now. Track just opened, we're ready to go, car's checked, fluids are good. So yeah, today, main thing I'm testing is a grace. I'm a bit nervous about how that's going to feel, but soon find out. And I also have to be a bit careful with the diff today, because I think I mentioned in another video that some stuff came out of their oil, some teeth that look like, and it makes a really bad noise when I if I do a big entry and I get back on the clutch. It does not like that. So today I'm going to throw the car in. If it doesn't feel good, I'm just going to get out of it, because I'm not sure how many big clutch drops this diff is going to take. But I think if I just drive a little sensible today and just focus on the steering, we should get a full afternoon out of it at least. But yeah, that's the next item on the list. But yeah, obviously the front end is the most important today. As long as that feels good, that's a win. If the diff lasts, that's another win. So let's go. First session out, car felt absolutely terrible. Yeah, I mean, you'd be able to tell in the in-car, but I'm being so gentle with the steering, and the car is so, it's snappy, which isn't bad, but the problem is it just does not come back from angle. Like, even when you throw it slowly to angle like that, it's just sitting there, and I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's like, I can't get on the throttle because the car hasn't stopped rotating. I get on the throttle, wants to rotate more. It's just, yeah, it just does not feel like it's going to end up working. It doesn't, you can generally tell when you're like on the right path, because you can just feel it's right. This just feels like no matter what alignment I put in it, it is just not it. So, but I'm here, and to be fair, it's not folding in, it's not breaking anything, so it doesn't look like it's rubbing on anything either. So I just dropped the rear pressures down because I had them higher to help the diff, but yeah, I've dropped them back down to 1 bar, so we're 15 pound. We're on Valeno 08Cs on the back, so there's no reason. It's not like a lack of rear grip that's not coming back around. So yeah, we're here. We'll just may as well keep playing with it and see if I can't make it do something. Just in the truck cooling off now. It's summer here, so it's very hot and there's no shade. So just to recap of what's going on. So first session, car felt really bad. Yeah, not about it. Came back in, looked at my driving, was very conservative, yet the car is just, yeah, out, just all over the place. Went back out, try again, just in case I'm driving like an idiot. And again, this, yeah, zero confidence in how it's coming back from lock. It feels like it wouldn't come back, and I had three bar in the front tires to try and help it return back from lock, to help understeer back around. And yeah, it just felt like nothing was going to work. I thought, you know, I'm here, I'll keep trying. So after the second session out, I just dropped my front pressures down to 2 bar, and the car is significantly better. So that sort of goes against everything that I generally think. Usually when the car sits at 90 degrees and doesn't want to come back around, it's like the front's too grippy and it's pivoting around the front. So that's interesting. Yeah, this is new to me, but it worked. So I might try to drop them down even a little more and just see if it keeps getting better. If it keeps getting better, then that just screams to me I need a better front tire. So not too surprising, because the NS2R on the front is pretty crap, but I've had the reverse problem before where I've had too much front grip and I've had to put that tyre on to sort of balance it back out. Whereas now with these knuckles, it's wanting more grip. So interesting, but it's working. So, and nothing's moved yet, nothing's broken, nothing's bent. actually a really good success. If you would have told me after that first session that the car's going to feel like that, I would have called you crazy. So yeah, dropped the pressures. I didn't end up, actually no I did, I dropped them to 1.5, and to be honest I didn't notice much difference. So I think, yeah, they're probably just starting to roll around more than actually bite in. So yeah, all in all, actually really good. So the car desperately needs a diff. I did some clutch kicks that I shouldn't have just then, but yeah, I was excited. Haven't had a day like this for a while where the car just works. Last time we were here, it was doing that cutting out thing in the reverse direction. So, but yeah, car's all in one piece. There's 10 minutes left, and tires are on belt. So we'll just call that for the day. And yeah, I'm very happy with that. That's actually. I'm just, yeah, I'm thrown off because this morning I was so convinced that this was not going to be it, and now it could definitely feel better, but it feels like I'm on the right path now, so very exciting.